Indeed. So we're on a tiny island in the Celtic Sea. This island, Sherkin Island, along with Cape Clear, are the furthest southern point of the Isle of Ireland in the county of Cork. And we're just waiting for the ferry to come over from Baltimore. And it's quite of a novel experience standing here when the ferry's on its way, because you can down here normally and there's not a soul to be seen. But when the ferry's coming and going, this place becomes a scene of activity, and then it dies down very quickly. And like most of the island, you can walk around and you'll bump into a few people depending on what part of the island you're on, but generally it's a very, very quiet place. So it's quite novel just to get all this excitement. So Kathy and I have been over on the island for a few days, and we're just going for a quick cycle here with the camera to have a look at some of the interesting places. So we're going to stop off at the Abbey here whenever the traffic and the crowds die down, and then we're going to cycle up to the north end to the dock pier, then head out to the west corner to the little quiet cove there. We'll come back and do the horseshoe loop, which is past Horseshoe Harbour, and then we'll head up to Sherkin North Shore and see all the spots in between. Now we're just picking up whatever you can see on the bikes. There's a lot of trekking that can be done, there's a lot more to be seen, but this just gives you a bit of a flavour for what's here. So one of the most striking things that hits you when you get off the ferry is the Friary, which has been here since 1406, built by the local O'Driscoll clan, and has an absolutely fascinating history worth reading up on it. They had a feud with the people of Waterford, and it was plundered in 1538 along with the local castle. You can't get actually physically down to the castle, there's not much left of it. It's behind the hotel, which we'll pass later on. It continued to function until 1650 when Cromwell got his hands on it. But fortunately it was restored in part, and you can see things like the tracery window in the nave and the chapel are not the original, but there are other bits and pieces where you can see that there's been a bit of TLC, and there's an exhibition in part of the building where you can read up on a bit of the history and the restoration work. So one of the interesting things about the island is it doesn't have a shop. It has a pub, the Jolly Roger, which is just opposite the hotel, but the hotel is no longer functioning as a hotel. So it's kind of unusual to have no shop and to have...
Seems like it.
Most towns in Ireland have several pubs, but this place only has the one pub. So let's head up to the most northern part and see what it has to offer. Not very many cars. The thing you have to watch out for is the local minibus and the local tractors. They go at their own pace. Generally speaking, you're not going to worry about cars. Worth a visit, Taffy. What's that? It is. What's that?
I'm so glad we didn't
Oh yeah,
park
yeah.
here.
Indeed. In May. Still looks good out there, even if this looks rather industrial. This is one of the extremities of the island. Look at the two. Another cool spot for a swim. You saw a couple of intriguing looking coffee places, and there's a few what I would describe as low budget lifestyles, old looking houses. There was a property I thought was empty, but I noticed the light on in the evening and I was told there is somebody living in it, so there's still a few of the older generation on the island who make the most of things. This is the trip down to the beach. It's a nice little curved beach. Then there's another one on the other side. And over there's the strand, the blue flag beach. The local church, the parochial house. I don't think the parochial house is used much by the looks of it, but the church is certainly still in use.
I'm going to go to the loop again. I didn't record it, I don't think. Now that's an interesting road up there, but it doesn't go too far. You go up to the water storage tanks, and up behind them there's a great view along the coast. So we're going to do the loop here. How's about that? It's nice of the French to put a yacht in the cove for aesthetics. So, throw in some footage of us swimming here.
It's like a washing machine!
It's going to tonight. Yesterday. Island life seems very interesting. There's quite a fascinating mixture here. The artists live on the island, as you might expect. That's who I came over to visit with my friend Tina and her hubby Pat. Now not only is Tina a talented artist, but she's a talented adventure racer and endurance athlete. And we did the Beast Adventure Race earlier this year together. Along with John and Martina, we managed to do the 24-hour course in 24 hours and 13 minutes. So she's the keen swimmer that we videoed earlier. To say that you can go through that gate and there's a little walk goes along the coast there. You have the time on a summer's day. It's worth the view. It's like getting onto the island. There is a ferry that takes foot passengers and bicycles obviously, but things like cars are there. We did bring a vehicle out It just about got on and off the ferry. I'm lucky I still have a bumper left. That was an interesting experience. Like we went past the beach laneway down to the beach earlier. There's nowhere there to park. The Silver Strand that we were at, there's a lay-by. It takes 3 vehicles or something. So it's not a place that you come. It's not like Armore Island where you come, people take their cars back and forward regularly. But here it's all walking and cycling. Cute little gate on the right there. Cool stuff. A fascinating place. Now here we have the Silver Strand Beach, complete with sauna. Very nice. Now the Silver Strand has a blue flag. The local hostel, North Shore. In contrast to the hotel on the other side of the island, this is a very different place with tents and little chalets, old chalets. You can get a cup of coffee and a bit of cake and look across the bay. Rather cool, more my style than a hotel would ever be. And yes, I do have to stop and say, what? Interesting camper van. Wouldn't have driven around the roads of Ireland in that. Pull into Cork and get arrested, I would imagine. And this is where this road ends. And another marvellous beach. There's more than its fair share of beaches, this place. I've got an illness, I have to remove other people's rubbish. I can't help myself. Just shouldn't be there. Even though the sun isn't shining, this is still rather cool. The silver strand that we went past, as I was saying, has the blue flag, and the water there is tested. But as someone who lives in Belfast and has to go up to the north coast or Donegal to be satisfied that you've got clean water to swim in, if you're into wild swimming, this is the place. So amusingly, Cape Clear is just behind me here, which is the most southern part of Ireland actually, but not very clear today. But it's Ireland, so you make the most of the weather. So we're heading tomorrow, so I thought I'd get my last thoughts of this place. I did get out for a run at 8 o'clock this morning and then went for a dip just here. So you can certainly be pretty active, and if I had a kayak, this would be a great place to just explore on a good day. So while it wouldn't be my lifestyle, I do like living in the city, having good internet access. But I have enjoyed my little visit to the island. So if you find yourself in County Cork looking for something different, it's worth coming to explore the island. See what it does for you. One of the things that was quite noticeable, we did a little walk up one of the roads where the water storage tanks are. Something in the same area. The island doesn't have sheep on it. There's cattle, there's no sheep. There's probably been sheep at some point, but it's not. And I believe that some sheep are coming, and alpacas, but on a small scale. But when you look at all the ground that hasn't been grazed by sheep, plants, heather, the colours that are growing, it's actually quite fascinating. It's all quite thorny and difficult to walk through, but there are little trails. And the walk we did up near where the water storage tanks are, if you can find out where the water storage tanks are, there's a nice view behind it. Quite fascinating just to get into that. I'm on Ireland, but I'm seeing Ireland as perhaps it should be without all that grazing that goes on. So that was quite fascinating. That was quite different from a lot of the stuff that I'm used to. Certainly get into wildernesses, that was somewhat different. Right. But anyway. A cool spot. Hello. Fancy meeting you.